Now, the moment I've been waiting for to talk about before I start with the start benches and cuts. Y'all saw my post, the one that I posted on Kyler Murray, champ Harrison.
Y- yes, I did.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Kyler Murray of the Arizona Cardinals responded before he ultimately blocked me.
Ooh,
Wait, who blocked you? Wait, Kyler blocked you?
yes,
He
sir.
blocked me. He saw a video on my Instagram and he had some comments that he had to say. Let me show you the things that he said. I even screenshotted the comments. This is what Kyler Murray responded. He saw a video that I posted on my Instagram in which I said that if he goes to a team like Atlanta, because if the Arizona Cardinals get the number one overall pick, they're probably going to draft Caleb Williams out of USC. It's a no brainer that Caleb Williams is the consensus choice for the number one overall pick. But I say probably because, again, we don't know whether if he's going to come out or not. His father's been on the record depending on the situation. But anyway, I said that Kyler Murray, if the Cardinals have a chance of drafting Caleb Williams, they're going to trade Kyler Murray. And one of those teams I would love to see him play for is the Atlanta Falcons because of the weapons. And I mentioned Michael Vick. Now, to be clear, I am in no ways comparing Kyler Murray off the field compared to Michael Vick. We already know about Michael Vick's issues in the past, and I'm glad that he's redeemed himself, and I'm glad that he's turned around his life. I am not talking off the field regarding Kyler Murray and Michael Vick.
Mm-hmm.
But what I am talking about is work ethic. If there's one thing Kyler Murray and Michael Vick are compared to, neither of them have the greatest work ethic. And Mike Vick, correct me if I'm wrong, champ, he admitted when he was in Atlanta, he didn't take his football career seriously. He even admitted in a 60 Minutes interview with James Brown, the NFL broadcaster on CBS, that he was lazy. Last one to show up, first one to leave. Did he
Yes.
take his career seriously in Atlanta, champ?
No, he did not, especially after Dan Reeves left. I think Dan Reeves was the only coach in Atlanta that really held him accountable. And
Yep.
after Dan Reeves, when Jim Moore came in, boom, a balloon
Mm-hmm.
came out the bag because Dan Reeves was like his guardian angel. Angel, excuse me. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. And with Mike Vick, just like Mike Vick has issues with his work ethic, so does Kyler Murray. So Kyler Murray responded on my Instagram and he said, I'm going to give you some time today, you clown. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. You don't do what I've done in my life without taking the shit seriously. Be better than that.
Holy fucking shit. Jesus Christ.
But you think I was going to not respond? Think again. I responded to Kyler Murray. This was my response to Kyler Murray. How am I a clown? Why did the Arizona Cardinals put a homework slash study clause in your contract when they handed you the money? You were also quoted from the New York Times admitting you don't spend as much time watching film. Why is that you've had numerous reports, Kyler, that people question your maturity? Explain that. For the record, I am an OU fan and been a big fan of your game, and I wish you the best. But man, you have an awful lot to learn and develop. And I put in lot to learn because I forgot to add that part for the first response. And you know what, champ,
Yeah.
yo, you know me very well, and Harrison, you know me very well.
Yes,
Am
sir.
I an OU fan?
Yes.
1000%.
Yeah.
Although I'm a Michigan fan too, am I an OU fan? Do I am I holding an OU helmet as we speak?
Yes.
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 Right. Even though I'm mad about them losing to OSU, but that's a story for another day. Do I not have a Kyler Murray poster on my wall?
Yes.
Yes. 1000%.
Yeah.
let me put myself on solo screen. Kyler, your response to my post further validated what people have been saying about you all along, how immature you are. Kyler, I think you are, when healthy, a very talented quarterback. I love OU. I loved your game. I loved when you won the Heisman Trophy. I love the fact that you were the number 1 overall pick, and you've had some success in the NFL. You won Offensive Rookie of the Year. You've won 2 Pro Bowls. The reason why I mentioned Michael Vick is because, just like you, Kyler, Michael Vick did not take his football career seriously. I think now, unlike Champ, because Champ has been on the record saying, nah, I don't want Kyler in Atlanta for 2 reasons, legitimate reasons. Number 1, the cap. Because if they do trade to get you, it's going to hurt their cap situation. And plus, he has even admitted, if you're not concentrating or focused in a place like Arizona, what the hell makes you think you're going to focus in the ATL? I've said this, and I've told this to Champ. I think with Kyler, with the weapons that they have in Drake London, in Kyle Pitts, in Bijan Robinson, with you to that mix, you would be the best quarterback in that division. Because when we look at Bryce Young, he's a rookie. I believe Bryce Young will be fine. Derek Carr is what he is, and even though I love Baker Mayfield, and Baker Mayfield, to his credit, this season has played well, is not the long-term solution for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think you would be a great fit for the Atlanta Falcons, contrary to what Champ thinks. You, Kyler, regarding your immaturity, it's well known. Go look at Chris Mortensen's report. Chris Mortensen of ESPN reported that the Cardinals described you as self-centered, immature finger pointer. Calvin Beachum, who was an offensive lineman, I don't know if he still plays for the Cardinals or not, admitted that one of the things you needed to improve or develop was your maturity. He said that you needed to grow up. Larry Fitzgerald Sr., who is the father of Larry Fitzgerald, even said that you're spoiled. It is coming from the father of Larry Fitzgerald. If it's coming from the father, then people are going to assume it's coming from Larry Fitzgerald. And Larry Fitzgerald, last time I checked, is one of the highly well-respected players in the NFL. A first ballot Hall of Famer, and who's been around you, Kyler, in your first 2 years with the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler, let me go back to your comment. Because you said it yourself, Kyler. You said it yourself. I'm taking you at your word. You don't do what I've done in my life without taking the shit seriously. Kyler, let me ask you this question. If you feel like you're so offended that I question your work ethic or others have questioned your work ethic, let me ask you this question, bro. Explain why the Cardinals put that clause in your contract. They put an independent study clause in your contract in which your ass has to study for 4 hours outside the job. Now, they removed that clause from your contract, in my opinion, because of how embarrassing the situation was. But Kyler, you gave them a reason. And Kyler, you even admitted from the New York Times, this is you, this is your word. This is what you said. I think I was blessed with the cognitive skills to just go out there and just see it before it happens. I'm not one of those guys that's going to sit there and kill myself watching film. I don't sit there for 24 hours and break down this team and that team and watch every game because in my head, I see so much. So basically, Kyler, what I got from that quote from you is you feel like you're so great, you're so unique as a talent, and in terms of your vision, that basically you don't need to do the requisite or necessary things just for your ass to be prepared. That's what I took from that quote. I don't know how else am I supposed to take it, but that's what I took. Kyler, the problem is you, bro. You are the problem. I really wish I didn't have to respond. I really wish I didn't have to take the time to be talking about this because I am still an OU fan and I still love your game. I wish you I wish you nothing but the best. I hope you come back. I hope you resemble into being the player you once were, man. But bro, your personality, and just because we may not know the things that you do outside, we know what you've done. We know what's been said. And knowing what you've done is all that matters. Kyler, you have an awful lot to learn, man. You have an awful lot to learn. You have an awful lot to mature. And I'm getting tired of this with Kyler. I will still support this dude as a football player, and I will still support OU. That ain't changing. But I will not hesitate into criticizing someone when needed to. And the fact that you took this time to respond to me like that, as well as blocking me, I don't care whether you like me or not, Kyler. I don't care if we talk. I don't care. We ain't got to be friends. We ain't got to be exchanging Christmas cards or having Thanksgiving dinner. I don't care. We ain't that. But Kyler, man, how you came across and your response, it just tells me how immature you incredibly are. And you have an awful lot to learn. What you said, look, I understand how I understand how you feel, man. But look, you're just giving credence to what people have said about you. You need to look at yourself in the mirror, Kyler, and say to myself, what do I got to do? What do I got to do in order for people to stop having this narrative about me of me being immature, me not being what I'm supposed to be? Why don't you ask yourself that, Kyler? Anyway,
Ooh, let's
that's
just
what
get
I
a
gotta
let's
say.
just
That's my piece. Any
Whoa.
of y'all gotta respond?
Hey, that's not. I'm gonna back you up on this. Remember when Patrick Peterson was interviewed?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
forgot that.
he said Kyler Murray doesn't care about anybody but Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's your teammate, right? Who are you supposed to galvanize? All your teammates. I mean, I personally, I'm just gonna be real. I thought it was a fake page at first. I really didn't think that was real. I thought it was
That's
fake.
what I was thinking. I was like,
Once you notified me, champ, and once I saw the post, I didn't believe it. I thought I thought this was a joke.
I thought it was fake too. I was like, wait a minute, that's the real. I said, wait a minute, let me go to the page. He was verified and everything, but like I said, if to piggyback on what you said, if multiple people, we have a saying down south, everybody ain't lying. Everybody ain't lying. If one teacher tell on you, that's fine. Two teachers, maybe the principal tell on you, that's fine. If the whole school is telling on you and doing because you're doing stuff that's immature in school, everybody ain't lying. Everybody ain't lying. And if your own teammates has come out against you to state things of this nature, everybody's not lying. And like I said, that's an old saying from my father, my grandfather, and my grandmother that I'll never forget. Everybody is not lying when they're saying things about you, especially if it's a multitude of people. One or two people can be lying. That's cool. But everybody ain't lying. I'll end it on that note.
Harrison?
Jeez. Man, PSP was cooking a 5-course meal.
I think probably the reason why he blocked me because he couldn't answer to the question I gave him.
Not gonna lie, I feel like I was Kyler Murray when I was in high school. Jesus. Damn. I got shit. I got no words. You cooked him. You cooked a 5-course meal plus dessert. PSP. Goddamn.
Honestly, when I heard it, like I said, I did not believe it was actually him. But once I saw his profile and the blue check mark, it was him. And I felt everything that I said was true. Again, to be clear, I am in no way comparing Kyler Murray and Michael Vick off the field. Let me state that for the record. I am talking about work ethic. Neither of them had the greatest work ethic in the world. I simply said that if Michael Vick can mentor or be a brother figure to Kyler Murray, that would be beneficial for Kyler because it'll help Kyler mature. It'll help Kyler realize that I have to put in the work just in order for me to be where I need to be. And Champ, I'm going to give you a lot of credit. Atlanta, I'm starting to wonder Atlanta shouldn't consider him. Because if he's going to act like this, imagine what he's going to be in the ATL. You said it.
It's too much. I live 100 miles away from Atlanta. And that is the main reason. I'll be honest with you. And this is something personal about myself. This is why I have chosen to stay in my hometown in order to work and go to college and do things like that rather than go to Atlanta. It's distracting for a guy, a nobody like myself. And I hate to say it that way, but nobody knows me. It's just like outside of maybe you guys and a couple other people, but nobody really knows me. So it's distracting for the ordinary guy walking on the streets in Atlanta to really concentrate. There's so many distractions. It's just like in Miami. That's how come it's so difficult to win in these cities. There's a reason why huge markets struggle with winning championships. There's a reason why in Dallas, since the 90s Cowboys, that they struggled to win a championship. There's a reason why in Miami, they struggle to win championships. There's a reason why in Atlanta, outside of the baseball team that we have here, that they struggle to win. I mean, even in Los Angeles, if you really want to put it that way, prior to the LA Rams, really nobody was winning. It is very, very difficult to win in small markets when there's very little, when you're the toast. And even in small markets, you're the toast of the town. Everybody knows you in these small markets. So if you take that small market and put it times 1 million, that's what you get when you're in markets like Atlanta, Los Angeles, New York. And if you can't concentrate in those small markets where you're the toast of the town, everybody knows you, everybody's passing you by and knows your name, how can you concentrate in a huge market like Atlanta? And when you come to Atlanta and you started losing and you signed a multi-million-dollar contract, ask Matt Ryan what happened to him. Ask Matt Ryan how he was crucified in Atlanta. Ask Mike Vick. Ask any quarterback that ever played in Atlanta. We've never won anything. We want a championship. So when you get a high caliber quarterback like that with a contract like that, you're expected to win championships. So you're expected to bring something to the town that has never been here before. So if you can't concentrate in an Arizona and in an environment like that, how can you concentrate in an environment like Atlanta where distractions are pretty much around the corner 24 hours a day?
It's not even Atlanta. It's pretty much any team. It's pretty much any team.
Yeah, but the reason I highlight Atlanta is everybody knows Atlanta is kind of the center of the universe when it comes to kind of like entertainment, hip hop. They film all the Marvel Action Universe movies were filmed right here in Georgia. Right here in Peachtree City, right here in Georgia. So, like I said, if you can't, I mean, Tyler Perry Studio is in Atlanta. It's so many distractions. And I'm not going to go into why people come to Atlanta. Y'all can look and view it for yourself.
I've been there.
If you get what I'm trying to say, people
It's
come
a
all around. Yeah, it's
It's a
beautiful,
beautiful city,
and
but
it's a
you can
lot
get
of
distracted.
trappings that you can find yourself into in Atlanta. That's how come I go there very, very sparingly. Yeah, I go there and I have my fun. I come on back home. But if you cannot find your center of focus in an environment like an Arizona, people don't even, John Jones, Greg Jackson, all those UFC fighters, guess where they train? In Arizona. When Jamarcus Russell tried to make his comeback, guess where he trained? In Arizona. Some of these fighters, when they train, a lot of people, they go to Arizona in order to train because of the weather, the extreme heat, the elevation. And if you can't find your center of gravity there in order to find a level of concentration, then how can you do it in a distracting area like in Atlanta? You just can't do it. Now, if you can prove me wrong, hey, especially when, and piggybacking on Michael Vick, you notice when he went to Philadelphia, he had a very, very strong-minded coach in Andy Reid.
Mm-hmm.
When Mike Vick had to take film study serious back when he was in Atlanta before Jim Moore, because I think that's when the problems occurred when Jim Moore came to Atlanta. He had a very, very strong-minded head coach in Dan Reeves. He had been to 3 Super Bowls with John Elway. So if you can't find your center of gravity outside of those distractions in a small market where people are known to train and get their bodies in shape and study the film, then how can you do that in a distracting place like in Atlanta? You just can't do it.
Harrison, is there anything else you want to say before we move on to some NFL picks?
I got no comment. PSP, you cooked them. You cooked that man.
I wish I didn't had to do this video, but look, anytime when I feel like someone says something, I just feel like I have to respond.
You just
And
you.
for
I swear, bro. I feel like you don't take no disrespect whatsoever.
I mean, sometimes, but I felt like what Kyler did, I had a lot to say. By me not responding, I feel like I'm doing myself and my audience a disservice. So, Kyler, listen, I respect Kyler Murray as a football player. I think he's fantastic, fun to watch. I still love OU, but regardless, I'm still gonna do my job, and I'm gonna give an honest critique, whether he likes it or not. Again, I'm not gonna be Kyler Murray's friend or anything like that. I'm gonna call it for what it is. It is what it is.